So the Acts of the Apostles traces how Christianity develops in Jerusalem from the Jewish people, and then there's the outreach to the Gentiles. And then it becomes a universal religion through the empire, no longer limited to the Holy Land, but now it's through the whole empire. And it is guided by the Holy Spirit. The evangelization, Peter and Paul, guided by the Holy Spirit, speak boldly. And St. Paul made 3 very long missionary journeys through Asia Minor and Greece. And then he returns to Jerusalem, but there's a riot in the street. He is taken into custody by the Roman soldiers, accused of being a disturber of the peace. But he says, I'm a Roman citizen. So they keep him safe. And Roman citizenship was through birth. And Paul was born in a Roman city, Tarsus. And we know that his family was very well off. He had the best education, not only in the Jewish religion, in the scriptures, but also in rhetoric and speaking and Greek literature. He was very, very highly educated. So he's in custody for his own safety. So as we read today, he's taken before the Sanhedrin to explain himself. And then there's a dispute among the Pharisees and the Sadducees. He's taken into safe custody again. And then we will hear how he will appear before King Agrippa and the governor Festus. The king is very familiar with Jewish traditions and laws. Festus is the Roman governor, he's pagan. But standing before them, Paul again speaks about God's plan of salvation, first for the chosen people and then for the Gentiles, everyone in the whole world. And Festus, the governor, says, Paul, you're out of your mind. And Paul says, no, this is truth. And Agrippa says to Paul, you're beginning to convince me. I might become a Christian. Well, Paul wanted to have his case referred to Rome to seek the indulgence of the emperor, because under the Roman Empire, the Jewish religion was permitted. There were special accommodations. Otherwise, in the empire, everyone had to worship the pagan gods of Rome. And Paul wanted to say to the emperor, you can give the same accommodation to Christianity. We're not disturbers of the peace. We don't cause riots. We don't cause riots in the streets. And so his case will be referred to the emperor in Rome, which is 1,500 miles away. That's the capital of the empire. That's a very long distance. And what a privilege it was for Paul to have his case heard by the emperor himself. That's a long distance from here to Denver, Colorado. Well, how do they get there? Well, by boat. If the weather is okay, it would take 11 days. But in Paul's case, getting to Rome on the ship would take many months because the ship would be wrecked. And they had to spend a winter on the island of Malta. So Paul is not discouraged at all. He continues to proclaim the kerygma, the good news, Jesus who came to save us, who gave his life on the cross, who was buried but rose on the third day. Paul continues to preach the good news. And as he gets to Rome, he will be imprisoned for a few years before he can actually see the emperor and speak to him. So Paul was not going to be discouraged. He gives us inspiration to continue on when there are challenges for us. And Paul is filled with the Holy Spirit. We continue to see this over and over again. Paul is empowered by the Holy Spirit. Peter is empowered by the Holy Spirit to speak boldly. And when they speak boldly, there's a big pushback. But they continue, and God's plan begins to unfold slowly but surely. Each and every one of us are called to be missionary disciples. We are called to speak boldly too, with our words and with our lives.